and welcome back to my channel again, TorAthena, where today I'm doing something I've never done before. Now this may come as a surprise, but I've been on YouTube or doing YouTube videos for just over a year now. But I'm actually not that into YouTube. I've never really had YouTubers that I follow or I subscribe to. The only times I ever really use YouTube is to like search a how-to on something. But being around YouTube has allowed me to check people out. They just come on my browser and I'm naturally stumbling across new and fun things to watch. What usually tends to happen is I will find a channel, become obsessed with them to like an unhealthy level, watch virtually every video they have made in a week and then subscribe and never really watch them again. Rhett and Link was my first obsession. I love them. I still watch videos every now and again. They're like my bath program. When I'm in a bath, I watch an episode or two while I have a wash and then I get out. That's when I watch them. But recently I stumbled across someone called Jessie Smiles. She was originally a Viner, but now she started doing YouTube videos and I know her name, but I never really followed her Vine. She does something on YouTube called Storytime, which I found out is actually a pretty big thing. A lot of people do this, but she was the first person I came across who did it, and she does it drunk, and I loved it. I don't even watch any other of her videos. I've watched all the Storytime stuff, and it was just brilliant. And then when I was watching these videos, I was like, hang on, I do YouTube. I surely have a funny story to tell. I want to do a video. Scratch that. I want to do a drunken video. That's better. So yes, I'm totally jumping on a bandwagon that is huge that I never knew about called Storytime. And this story is my personal favourite. Every person at a dinner party has a story, and this is mine. This is the one I would tell at a dinner party. That's how I put it in my head. And it's the time I took my pen pal on a ghost tour. And just completely humiliated myself. I'm still laughing about it. Basically, when I was 19, I had a pen pal who was originally from Singapore, studying in America, but going to Germany for like a summer project that he was studying in America for, and we were pen pals. And because he was in Germany, he was the closest he ever was to the UK and decided to come and meet me. I was all up for this. I was so excited. I'd never even stayed in Liverpool. I'm from across the water. For anyone who isn't in Liverpool, that doesn't make any sense to you, but if you're local, you understand that I'm from the Wirral. That is not Liverpool. It's just the closest thing. So I'd never stayed in Liverpool, especially the city centre when I was younger, and I got really excited. I wanted to take him around, stay in a nice hotel, and do unique things that would help him remember his visit to Liverpool. After we sorted out the hotel and everything and decided how long he was staying for and when he was staying, I decided one of the best things to do was to take him on a tour of Liverpool, but with a twist. Basically, they have these things called Shiverpool tours. Play on name, how cool, I know. And it's a ghost walk that tours around Liverpool. And it's all very dramatic. It's acted out by volunteers that usually do like Amdram and stuff like that. And I've heard it was brilliant. My dad had recently went on one on a date, and he really, really recommended it. So there are two tours to take and they end up in two different places. I decided to go on the complete opposite one that my dad went on, where you ended up in the oldest pub in Liverpool. Sounds awesome. So my pen pal Jerry comes over and I go, I've bought you this ticket, it's a nice present, I think we would really like it, let's go. So we do, and we go there, and when we go to the meeting point of where we're meeting them, there is this old Victorian style dressed man wearing like a Phantom of the Opera mask, and he's scowling up and down the road with a cane and a tall top hat, and I was like, yeah, that's the guy we're meeting, this is brilliant. And when we go up to him, we go, oh hi, we're meant to have a tour with you, and he was like, oh great, my first victims. I was like, I'm already getting my money's worth, this is amazing. So we sit down and we wait for the other two people that were meant to come. I was really happy as well, because sometimes the groups can be really big and my social anxiety isn't really good with that, so I was really happy that only two other people were coming on the tour. As we're sitting down on the steps, there's a man there, and we just start talking to him like, oh, are you going on the tour too, blah 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 blah, and he said, no, I know the guy running it and I just came to chat. As we're talking to him, we soon discover that the other two aren't coming and we are getting a personal tour of Liverpool. So as we go to set off, this young guy who we met, I can't remember his name, we're going to call him Dave. Dave says, oh, I'll come along too. So it's me, Jerry, Dave and the man and the woman who are giving the tour. Our first stop is to the cathedral, the massive, beautiful cathedral in Liverpool. It's huge and it's amazing. And we stopped outside the gates and the man who is directing this tour goes, now I'm sorry if I get my facts wrong, it was a long time ago, I can't remember, so just for the sake of the story, just go with it. During the turn of the century, we used to take prisoners off to Australia, but before they stopped, we would keep them overnight in the church. But how would you feel about being a prisoner if you can't experience it yourself? And then he goes to me and he goes, I'm gonna pick on you because you're the only woman. And what I realized is the church is there and we've come from that way and we're facing an alleyway, and he takes me down this alleyway. And I don't know if you know, but outside restaurants usually there's a door and then a metal gate that covers it that you can open up. I don't know, protects people breaking in, I'm not sure. But there was one of them that was open and he handcuffed me to the gate and then walked back down the alley where everyone else was. And they're all giggling and sniggering that I'm locked up on this gate as he walks away from me, and I'm standing there going, oh, ha ha guys, very funny, oh. And then all of a sudden I feel something go up my arm and I turn around and there's a man in a full white mask and a black and white striped like prisoner outfit, and I just go, ah! I go to run away, but I'm handcuffed to a metal gate and just go into the metal gate. I look to see if everyone else has seen it, but they've already walked away somewhere and I have to stand there hurt and giggling and a bit afraid as the guy uncuffs me, and I go, can I go now? And the man just looks down at me and goes, you can go if you like, or you can stay with me, and kisses my hand with the mask still on. And I just go, okay, bye, and run away to find the rest of the group. After that rather explosive start of the tour, we go to the next location, and the formula was pretty much the same. They go and take us somewhere, tell us something historical, but dark and twisted, and then something jumps out at us. So we were at a church, and they say that we're at a different church, and then they go, someone died in there because of the plague or something, you can hear it cry. And then we go to a next place, and we're in this courtyard, and I think that was actually the plague. I can't remember, but something bad happened. Someone's died there, and someone was hiding underneath this grid and jumped up and tried to grab us. And every time it happened, I would full on scream. I am a very jumpy person and I wasn't handling this tour very well. To the point where the two tour leaders were starting to break character a little bit, and every time we walked away, you could see them shaking their shoulders, especially at like the third location. Someone jumped out and grabbed me again. I screamed, nearly peed myself. And as I'm walking away, I'm going, I'm gonna be dead by the end of this tour. I wasn't okay. Jerry had only known me for 2 hours. He'd only been in Liverpool for 2 hours. I wasn't setting the best first impression. But the best part of this story is the end of it. As we get to the Hole in the Wall, which is the oldest pub in Liverpool, they take us into this tiny bar and walk us behind the counter and up the stairs. As we walk up the stairs, there's a very narrow corridor leading into this just one empty room. But as we're walking through the corridor, all the lights are red and there's black matted curtains, netted curtains all over the wall, curtained over, and underneath you can see these broken white masks again, like the ones in the Phantom of the Opera. They tell us to stand in the middle of the room, and then they slowly turn the lights off as they raise these lamps so all you can see is their faces illuminated. And they go, you've done very well to last this long, but have you noticed that you've been following a bunch of strangers all around Liverpool, going wherever they wanted you to? At this point I'm going, yep, that's a very good point. I know technically nobody in here and Jerry must be shitting himself. But they carry on with the story and they go, but before we tell you the final story, we have to teach you this Latin prayer just in case. So they teach us this Latin prayer. I actually don't know if it was Latin, it probably was, I don't know, but they teach us this little prayer. And then they start circling us with the lamps. Dave's there, I'm there, Jerry's there, and I'm holding on to both of them, like I was scared. And they start telling us this story about a man who used to work here 100 years ago. He's having a break and he comes upstairs for a cigarette, and all of a sudden you hear this bang, and you look over and the corner of the room is illuminated and there's just this man sitting there reenacting this man having a break, which was amazing because I didn't know anyone else was in the room. And he goes, but all of a sudden he felt another presence and he knew he wasn't alone. And at that point, all the lights went off. You couldn't see anything. I mean, literally, it was pitch black. There was no windows in this room or anything. It was so dark. And then all of a sudden you hear another bang. And all of a sudden everyone just starts screaming. And I mean everyone, including these broken, horrible faces that start illuminating in the walls. All of a sudden them empty masks are filled with faces and there are people there screaming. I may have been screaming the loudest, I'm not sure, I can't remember, I just remember screaming. And they targeted me, I know they did, because they knew I was the little weakling there, and I shit you not, I don't know how they found me, but as we're standing there screaming and my eyes are closed and I'm terrified, someone grabs the bottom of my leg and I jump up Scooby-Doo style into Dave's arms while still clinging on to Jerry. I'm not touching the floor, I don't want anything touching me, I am done. And then the two tour leaders go, quick, say the prayer, say the prayer, and they make us chant this Latin prayer that they taught us. And as we chant it, the lights stop flashing as much as they are, they go back to normal. Everyone's gone from the masks again and it's just us in the room. I don't know how they did it. It was amazing. I didn't want to question it too much. I didn't stay around. Then when the lights come back on normal and they see that I am Scooby-Doo style in Dave's arms holding on to Jerry, they just start giggling and went, the tour's over, you can go. And I pushed everyone out the way and went, get me out of here, ran straight downstairs, straight to the bar and went, I want a drink. And as me and Jerry sat there and I bought Jerry a drink and then the tour left and said goodbye and they were really nice and stuff. And we stayed there talking to the barman and the barman made me feel a little bit better. He said, you will not believe the reactions that they get up there. They were saying there was a big, massive, hairy biker builders and they'll come out in tears and some of them get really shaken up and some are fine. And he was like, it's not haunted, it's fine. You can go back up there. It was really, really nice. He let me go back up and check it out while no one else was in there. And I was crawling around going, please don't hurt me, Mr. Ghost. I just wasn't brave enough for it. And I went back downstairs. And then we ended up in Revolution and just had a nice night. It was really fun, but so random. And poor Jerry, he must have been terrified going, and poor Jerry, he must have been thinking, I have come to another country to meet a crazy person and shit, I'm here for 3 more days. So Jerry, I'm so sorry. But we had a lovely weekend and it was great and I miss him. I don't really talk to him anymore because he's busy being an amazing, super smart person now that he's finished uni and everything. Or college if it's in America, I don't know. But yeah, that's my story time. That's my favourite story that I've ever can remember and I think I tell it pretty dramatically enough to fit the drama that it was at the time when I was experiencing it. But yeah, it was my first story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you enjoy it because I've got loads of other stories to tell, especially game shop related stories. So if you want to hear them, please let me know. And I will see you all very soon. Like, subscribe and comment because it makes my day. And take care. Bye.